Hey everybody, today we've got the best case scenario for the Republicans for the upcoming governor's election. I already took a look at the Democrats. Today it's going to be for the GOP. And again, this is going to be just the best reasonable case scenario. Anybody could come up with a fringe landslide scenario where either side sweeps all the races. That's not what this is. This is going to be the Republicans having kind of a red wave where they might get about a 5% boost over the normal outcome. And the other thing to keep in mind is we've still got a lot of time to go. We've still got primaries to get through. Things can change as we get closer. So this is preliminary. We'll make adjustments as the months go on. So we've only got 11 governor's seats up for election. And for this, we're going to start East Coast and go West. And as always, the safe margins are over 10 points, likely are 5 to 10 points, lean under 5 points, and tilt 1 point or less. So let's start up here in the Granite State, New Hampshire. We've still got primaries, but it's probably going to be former U.S. Senator and New Hampshire Attorney General Kelly Ayotte. And on the other side, it might be Joyce Craig for the Democrats. There's plenty of time left. I had Ayotte winning it on my normal prediction. So in this, she's going to get a boost just over 5 points. So that means this is going to go likely for the Republicans. Next door in Vermont, this is the big question mark, as we don't know what Phil Scott is going to do. Is he going to run? Is he going to retire? If he doesn't run, this is going to be a likely pickup for the Democrats. If he does run, then I would have to assume it's going to be another massive landslide for Phil Scott. It's a very blue state. Phil Scott has been extremely popular. He's got the secret sauce to be able to win here. It doesn't mean if it's not Phil Scott that the Republicans can't possibly win, but in the best case scenario, it's going to be Phil Scott, and of course he's going to win again by a safe margin. Now let's take a look at the first state, Delaware. This will be an open seat as John Carney is term limited. And this state is blue enough where the Republicans really don't have any bench here. It doesn't mean the GOP should not put up a serious candidate here and try to compete. They should. But as of right now, I just can't find much evidence that shows this could be competitive, even on a great night for the Republicans. There's only one declared candidate on Wikipedia. So whoever it's going to be for the GOP is going to have their work cut out for them. Maybe they catch fire and something develops later on in the summer, but for the time being, I still think this is going to stay safe Democrat. And let's go down to North Carolina. Here's an open seat as Democratic incumbent Roy Cooper is term limited. And I think this is going to be the most prominent race. We've got Attorney General Josh Stein for the Democrats, and we've got Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson for the Republicans. Robinson is controversial. He's a wild card. Some people are going to be excited to come out for him, and others are going to be excited to come out and vote against him. I think Josh Stein is just going to try to not rock the boat too much. I think it remains to be seen how well any controversy surrounding Robinson is going to affect this race. I do think Stein is slightly favored right now, but the best case scenario for the Republicans is Robinson is going to be able to flip this state and pick it up for the Republicans. He's going to get it by a lean margin. And now we've got a lot of red states coming up. We've got West Virginia. It almost doesn't even matter what happens here on either side. Even in the worst case scenario for the GOP, this is still likely to stay way over 10 points. So in the best case scenario, of course, it's going to stay safe red. Over to Indiana. This could easily stay safe on a regular night for likely nominee Mike Braun. Of course, in this, it's going to go way over 10 and safe. In Missouri, it's the same thing. Like a lot of these other states, this is another open seat. Incumbent Republican Mike Parson, he's done. Democrats have a thin bench here. Republicans have to battle it out in a primary. I would guess it's going to be Jay Ashcroft. That's a powerful name in this state. Plus, it's pretty red overall. So, of course, this is going to stay safe for the Republicans. Up to North Dakota. Looks like we're not going to have Doug Burgum in there for a third term. So we've got an open seat. This is a red state. Democrats have nothing going on here. Democrats would have to put up somebody with a strong local appeal. It's not 100% impossible if it were a blue wave, but in a red wave, of course, this is going to stay way over 10 and safe. In Utah, there's an incumbent Republican running for re-election. Once he gets through the primary, I think Spencer Cox is going to be a shoo-in, and it's going to easily stay safe Republican. In Montana, we've got Greg Gianforte. He certainly could get over 10 on a regular night. In this, it's going to easily be safe Republican. In the last state, it's going to be all the way in the Northwest, and that's Washington. This is yet another open seat. There's a lot of them on this map. Jay Inslee, the incumbent Democrat, is not going to run for term number 4. And this is a fairly blue state. They have not elected a Republican for governor since 1980. That's the longest active streak. There's been a couple of close calls since, especially in 2004, that extreme nail-biter. The margin there was barely over 100 votes, but the Democrats still won. This time, we've got Attorney General Bob Ferguson running for the Democrats. And on the Republican side, we've got former U.S. Representative Dave Reichert. He also used to be the sheriff of King County. Now, these two do have to get through a primary, and in Washington, they have a top 2 primary system. So everybody's going to be on the same ballot. The top 2 are going to go on to the general. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to assume it's going to be Ferguson and Reichert. If you're a Republican here, you're going to have to get some crossover appeal with Democrats. So that's going to mean a little bit more moderate and mainstream appeal. Ferguson Ferguson is already in office statewide, so he's going to go in with an advantage. Plus, the partisan lean of the state is going to make it a very uphill climb for any Republican. But Dave Reichert is probably a guy that could make it as competitive as anybody else. This could turn into an under-the-radar, sleeper kind of a race. And even though the state is highly favorable for the Democrats, every once in a while, voters are willing to make a change, especially at the top of the ticket. We just saw in Kentucky, they re-elected their Democratic governor, even though the state legislature is overwhelmingly Republican. So once in a while, things change. I think it's more likely they don't change and Democrats hold on. But for right now, with a lot of time left, I'm going to say the best case scenario for the Republicans here is this gets down to a leans for the Democrat, Bob Ferguson. And that's it. That would come out to 9 seats for the Republicans, 2 for the Democrats. Republicans in this would flip and pick up North Carolina. And I think there's an outside chance something could develop in Washington. We'll have to see what happens, but this is how I think it would look within reason. It's always possible that in 3 or 4 months, in the heat of election season, that something completely changes everything and the map looks totally different. But for now, this is what I've got, so let me know in the comments. What do you think about this best case scenario for the Republicans? Does your map look similar, or do you think they're actually going to flip Washington, or maybe something is going to develop in Delaware? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.